It's just a shame to me for that environment to be destroyed.
That's Janet Thomas reacting to the idea of a new fire station being built on Anastasia Island. Liz Ryan reports.
Although it wasn't on the agenda, residents came to the City Commission meeting last night in full force to show opposition to a proposed new fire station that would be built on Anastasia Island. The new location is in the Madeira Heights neighborhood. That's near the St. Augustine Amphitheater, just on the other side of A1A. Resident Kristen Thomas describes the area.
A maritime hammock is a highly functioning ecosystem with over 36 different species of animals. There's sand dunes, there's trees, there's birds, there's snakes, there's deer, there's owl.
Holly Doucette lives in the neighborhood and doesn't want to see that piece of land developed.
It's been woods and state property the whole time that we've lived here, and our presumption was that it's never going to be developed. But now we're finding out that the city wants to put a fire station there without getting any input from us, and everybody's very upset about it.
Janet Thomas lives in the neighborhood. In addition to environmental concerns, there's another reason why she doesn't want to see those trees cut down. They serve as a sound buffer between that neighborhood and the amphitheater across the street.
Depending on the wind blowing, I can clearly hear the concert at night when I'm lying in bed. You can still hear it at 10 o'clock. If they destroy that habitat, it'll just open it up for noise and debris.
The 5-acre parcel of land is currently owned by the state of Florida, and the city has applied for a long-term lease of the land. The new fire station would replace the out-of-date City Fire Station No. 2. The land that the old fire station sits on is needed for road improvements in that area. This will be decided on Friday in Tallahassee. Lauren Thomas is upset that residents of the neighborhood didn't get a say in the matter before it gets put to a vote.
The vote, unfortunately, is happening in Tallahassee on April 14th. That we were unaware of, and we have no idea of any other public notice that this was occurring until we reached out and asked them how we could either postpone or have further investigation.
For St. Augustine's Local Morning News, I'm Liz Ryan.
This local news is a service of your hometown Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you.
I am concerned about increased traffic, quality of life, safety.
That's St. Johns County Planning and Zoning Agency Board member Richard Hilsenbeck expressing concerns about plans for a new 55 and older community off Greenbrier Road and Longleaf Pine Parkway. Hilsenbeck cast the sole no vote Thursday on the project that aims to bring more than 750 homes to the area.
There's the single ingress and egress point for 760 homes with a bunch of elderly people in there. Might have difficulty getting out in an emergency. The $11.5 million, I think that's a great offer, but that's less than 10% of what's needed out there in terms of road improvements. We're way behind the curve here in St. Johns County.
PZA board member Greg Matavina refuted one of Hilsenbeck's concerns.
The fact that it has one entrance and exit could be an issue if it were on Greenbrier Road, but it's not on Greenbrier Road. It's on its own internal roadway system. So I don't really see that as an issue. The bottom line for me is that this is the hole in the donut, and I'm going to vote for it.
The development passed in a vote 4-1 and now heads to the full county commission for a vote on May 16th. With St. Augustine's Local Morning News, I'm Amy Sherry.
The Florida legislature acts on a hidden cost that lawmakers say affects the price of many items.
19th District Representative and Speaker of the House Paul Renner describes what's behind the so-called tort tax or lawsuit tax.
The Florida Chambers estimated, and other groups have estimated, that between $800 and $5,000 a year is what each Floridian pays for all the hundreds of thousands of lawsuits out there, some of which are legitimate, obviously, but many of which are, I sue, I demand $1 million on something that's worth, and I settle for $30,000. But in the midst of all that, there's a lot of attorney's fees churned out, and all of that cost has to go somewhere.
And those costs get passed on to the consumer because businesses have to pay more for insurance.
I said at the beginning of session, we're going to do things to reduce Floridians' cost of living. And this is one area where we'll see results. We took a number of steps to make sure that our litigation climate allows real claims to move forward. Somebody's hurt, somebody's at fault for that injury, that they have to pay up. But we're not going to have a situation where everybody with a pocket is going to get picked.
Governor Ron DeSantis says Florida accounted for 8% of all property insurance claims nationally, but 80% of property insurance litigation. For St. Augustine's Local Morning News, I'm Rich Petchke.
And now you're up to date with St. Augustine's local morning news. I'm Rich Carroll.